Welcome and thank you for joining us to celebrate the launch of When the Saints Go Marching In with author Anthony Badulka. Special guests Brent Louts and Penny Murphy are here to interview Anthony about his series.
Hey, wait a second, that was louder.
Yeah, but they beat us.
And there's two of them.
Like Anthony, Brent and Penny are committed to community involvement and work with Read Saskatoon as well as Adopt a Family, a program they founded in 1988. Brent is a host of The Brent Louts Show, which airs weekday mornings on News Talk 650. Penny, his wife and once on-air partner, is the owner of Penny Murphy and Associates. Please welcome Brent Louts and Penny Murphy.
Test. It's time.
Test.
Well, Marcy did her homework. Thank you very much.
Now, Anthony Badulka launched his first Russell Quant mystery, Amuse-Bouche, here in 2003. Dos Equis, the 8th book in that series, is currently nominated for a Lambda Literary Award. The winners will be announced at a gala ceremony in New York City 2 days from now, Monday, June 3rd. The Lambda Literary Foundation has been recognizing excellence in LGBT literature for the past 25 years, and this is Anthony's 4th nomination. With When the Saints Go Marching In, Anthony introduces us to a new hero, Saskatoonian and disaster recovery agent Adam Sett. Quill Inquirer magazine writes that this new crime thriller gets all the details right, making Saskatchewan both intriguing and dangerous without exaggerating or denigrating its charms. Joining Brent and Penny, please welcome Anthony Badulka.
Well, isn't this a wonderful gathering? And I've got to say, you know, we've been friends with Herb and Tony for a long time. And I think Tony is such an inspiration for the rest of us in terms of living your dream and doing what you love. And so we want to thank you for leading the way for the rest of us, and we're so proud of you.
I love the line, Saskatchewan, intriguing and dangerous. It's just another day on the highway in Saskatchewan.
And I love how my seat is higher than theirs.
I love the lavender, man. That is good.
Totally by accident.
Totally by accident.
I came for my sisters and my mom.
Oh.
Now, I do have 5 other outfits in the car.
Of course.
I wouldn't be surprised. How many people have the book and purchased it already? Yeah. Have you looked at that picture on the back cover?
Yeah.
Herb is one lucky guy. I love it. Man, that's a good picture. Yes.
We're doing this because we love Herb and Tony, but also because we do anything to stay on the Christmas party.
Yes. Saturday afternoon in June, no problem. That's right. Well, we've got a series of questions that have been cultivated from a variety of sources, fans of Tony's all over the world, and these have come in through Facebook and email and Twitter and where else have they?
Carrier pigeon.
Yes.
Message in a bottle.
Smoke signal.
Exactly, yeah. If there was a way to communicate,
they did it. And so we've got a list of these questions, and we're going to fire them at Tony, and he will give his response, and we'll get through as many as we can before they kick us out of here about midnight tonight. So keep the wine coming, and we're staying until midnight. All right, you want to start?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I also want to, commend Tony, because I suspect being a successful author, a lot of it is connecting with the people who are your fans, and through social media and the internet. You've done a marvelous job. You've got a great website and your Facebook page. I think it's marvelous how people from around the world are able to connect with you and find out more about the guy that writes these amazing books.
I don't think we should do questions. You guys should just
Just
keep
keep
on.
Our first question comes from Darlene in Toronto. This was via email. She says, I've only just bought your new book. I haven't started reading it yet, very interested to learn that it's about a Canadian disaster recovery agent. By the way, whoever did these notes with the big font, thank you very
It
much.
was me, because I was too vain to wear my reading glasses.
Darlene says, I've never heard of this agency before. I hope never have to use it, but I'm so glad it exists. Can you tell us more about it and how you learned about it, Tony?
Yeah, so Darlene, is it? Yeah.
Darlene.
So Darlene is talking about Adam Saint's Workplace, which is the Canadian Disaster Recovery Agency. And it is a subsidiary agency of something called the International Intelligence Agency. So there is a disaster recovery agency in every country of the world. And basically what this agency does is when something goes horribly wrong somewhere in the world, so if there is a flood, if there's a disease outbreak, if there is a plane crash, and if Canadians are involved, they would send in an agent like Adam Saint. And what he would do is he would go in and he would liaise between the Canadians and whatever people are dealing with the disaster. So it could be doctors, it could be government officials. And it's completely made up. And that's probably one of the most interesting things about this so far with the people who have seen the book already is that they really think that this agency should exist, that it is a good idea, but it's a big lie.
Oh, we could get Mike Duffy to run it then.
Okay. The second question. Now, it says Anthony. Do we have to call you Anthony, or
Yes.
can we just call you Tony?
It's Anthony.
Mr. Bedolga.
Mr. Bedolga.
How did you come up with your character Adam Saint for your book? What inspired you to create him? And this is from Kendra in Tampa, Florida, via Facebook.
Yeah, well, you know, many of you know about my existing character, Russell Quant. And I've written about Russell now for 10, 12 years. In developing this new series, I wanted to create a character that I didn't even know. And working for the CDRA is kind of part of it. Like, I wanted to give him a job that I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. And then that gave me an excuse to not only create this world that he lives in, but figure out how this man can live this life. So I wanted to create someone who is different than Russell. Russell Quant is, I think, he's a pretty nice guy. And Adam Saint is a nice guy, but I don't think you're going to think he is in the first part of the book. To do what he does, to be someone who spends his time basically living in disaster areas all his life, you have to create a bit of a shell around you. And he's someone who has really let go of the rest of his life. So unlike Russell, who has a great relationship with his mother, sorry to look at you, back at you. Adam Saint doesn't have that relationship. He's a guy whose personal life really has fallen apart. And yet he's very good at what he does. He loves being the man who flies into Bangladesh or has to go and get bodies out of a cave. It's part of his DNA. So someone who's very, very different than Russell, someone who's very, very different than me. And from a writer's perspective, that's what really attracted me to him, was to try and figure him out. And after writing about Russell for 10 years, I know that guy very, very well. And writing this first book, I found myself in situations where I was writing a scene, and realized that I was writing Russell Quant, disaster recovery agent, not Adam Saint's disaster recovery agent. And that was a pretty scary thing, but it was a great thing to experience as a writer, to know that I have to stop. I have to really think about who this guy is. So I think, you know, with that question, it wasn't so much that I had him in my head already at the beginning. I had an idea of the challenge I wanted to put myself in, and then he grew out of that. So kind of like Russell Quant, where, you know, by the second or third book, I knew that guy really well. I think with Adam Saint, it's going to take me a while, and I think that can be interesting for readers too, because as I'm figuring him out, you'll be learning about him. So it makes it a very dynamic process for me as a writer at this point.